Hey everyone, I'm Jem. So let me ask you this. Have you ever posted something on Instagram? It gets a good amount of likes, a few nice comments like love this or so helpful, but then your DMs totally silent. Like not even a hey, can we work together? Not one inquiry, just pure crickets. And you're sitting there like, wait, I thought I did everything right. I posted good content, I showed up, I engaged. Why isn't this turning into clients? Trust me, I've been there. It's one of the most frustrating feelings, especially when you're genuinely putting in the effort. You're not just chasing followers, you actually want to help people and build a business. But here's the thing, getting engagement is one thing. Turning that engagement into actual clients, that's a totally different game. And that's exactly what we're going to be talking about today and how to fix it. In this video, I'm going to walk you through the full process step by step from that first comment someone leaves on your post all the way to turning them into a paying client. By the end of this, you'll not only understand why your engagement isn't converting right, but you'll also know exactly what to do differently starting today. Here's the game plan. The mindset shift, because before you do anything else, you need to start seeing engagement the right way. The engagement triage system, how to spot real potential clients hiding in your comments. The value driven reply, how to turn small talk into meaningful conversations. The DM bridge, how to naturally move those combos into your inbox without sounding pushy or weird. The simple close, how to confidently turn a DM chat into a call or sale without feeling salesy. And listen, if by the end of this video you're like, Jem, this is awesome, but I'd rather just have the leads delivered to me, I got you covered. That's literally what I help business owners with. I provide ready to contact, high quality leads so you can skip the hunt and focus on closing deals. Stick around till the end or just DM me the word leads in the comment section and we'll chat about it. All right? Sounds good. Cool. Let's dive in. Before we talk tactics, let's start with your mindset because this part is so underrated. Here's the truth. Most business owners treat Instagram engagement like it's a vanity metric. They'll look at their posts and think, nice, I got 50 likes and comments. 50 likes and 10 comments. I'm growing. But here's the shift I want you to make. Every single comment on your post, it's a potential doorway. Think of your Instagram like a big networking event. Your posts, that's your booth. In your comment section, that's the group of people walking up to your booth saying, hey, this caught my attention. Now, most people, they just smile and say thanks, and that's it. The moment passes. But the smart business owners, they don't just say thanks. They lean in, they start a real conversation. Because when someone comments, love this, they're really saying is, hey, this spoke to me. This hit home. This is something I'm thinking about. Your job isn't just to thank them, it's to get curious. Why did it resonate? What's going on behind that comment? Is it possible that what you teach or offer could actually help solve a deeper problem? When you start seeing engagement that way, you completely change the game. You stop sitting around waiting for clients to find you. Instead, you start finding them right there inside your own comment section. That's the mindset shift. You're not an influencer chasing likes. You're a business owner building real connections that lead to real results. All right, now that you got your mindset in the right place, let's get into the fun stuff. How to actually spot who's worth your time and who's not just there for an algorithm boost. The engagement triage system. Here's where things get real because honestly, not every comment deserves the same amount of energy. If you ever found yourself trying to reply deeply to everyone, giving long, thoughtful responses to every nice post, comment, you've probably felt exhausted after a while, right? That's because you're spreading your energy too thin. Too thin. What you need instead is a simple way to filter who's worth your time and who's not. And that's where my little system comes in, something I call the engagement triage. Basically, your internal radar for spotting who's just being polite and who's a potential client hiding behind a comment. Here's how it works. There are 3 types of comments you'll start to notice. The first category is the warm leads. These are gold. The people who comment with curiosity, who actually want to learn more. Someone says something like, this is awesome, but how do you actually find clients on Instagram? Or do you have a strategy that works for service-based businesses too? That's your cue. They're not just engaging, they're asking for help. And anytime someone's asking for help, you've got an opening for a real, valuable conversation. So they're your priority. They're basically standing at your virtual booth, holding up their hand, saying, "Hey, can you tell me more about this thing that you just mentioned?" These are the people you should be spending your energy on, thoughtfully replying, asking questions, or even moving the combos to DMs. Category 2 is engaged but shy. Now, these ones are sneaky and easy to overlook. They'll say things like, "So true, oof, this hit hard. I needed this today." See what's happening there? They're not asking questions. They're feeling something. They resonate with what you said. They just don't know how to take it to the next step yet. I call these people your quiet maybes. They're watching from the sidelines, testing the waters, trying to see if you're the real deal before they engage more. So instead of brushing them off, meet them halfway. Give them a warm, thoughtful reply like, "Glad this helped. Is that something you've been struggling with lately?" That one little question can turn a quiet observer into a conversation and eventually into a paying client. Now, we have category 3 here, casual compliments. And then there are these are the drive-bys. You know, the ones that do like 3 fire emojis, say cool, say love it. These people mean well, but they're not looking for a conversation. So don't ignore them. Every comment helps boost your engagement and shows you're active. Just don't overinvest. A quick friendly reply like "Thanks, appreciate the support." That's all you need. Keep it polite, keep it human, but don't let these eat up your time. From now on, every time you open your comment section, I want you to mentally sort them like this: warm lead, engaged but shy, casual compliment. You'll instantly know where to focus. And trust me, once you start replying with intention like this, you'll see your conversions skyrocket. Because the truth is, the clients you're looking for are probably already commenting on your posts. You just need to know how to spot them. Now, you've done the hard part already. You've posted good content, you've gotten engagement, maybe even spotted some warm leads in your comments. But then you killed the momentum by replying with something like "Thanks" or "Appreciate it." That's it. End of conversation. Dead end. Now, don't get me wrong, it's polite, but polite doesn't build relationships. And if you want to turn engagement into actual clients, you need replies that do more than just acknowledge. You need replies that spark curiosity, that build trust, that make people want to keep talking to you. So here's what I want you to start doing instead. I call this approach the value driven reply. It's all about giving a little bit of value and leaving a small open door for conversation. Because once people feel like you actually care, and you're not just replying to boost your engagement, they'll naturally open up to you. Let's break it down by type. 4 warm leads. The answer plus ask formula. Okay, these are your top priority, the people already showing genuine interest, asking questions, or wanting more details. Here's the formula: answer plus ask. Let's say you're a business coach and someone comments on your post saying, "Love this, but how do you set boundaries with difficult clients?" Now, the average person might say, "That's a great question. Thanks for asking." But you're not the average. All right. Here's how you'd respond like a pro. "Great question, Sarah. One thing that worked really well for one of my clients in Chicago was setting clear communication boundaries right in in the contract. It sets the tone from the start. Out of curiosity, what kind of business are you in? Some industries are trickier than others. See the difference? You gave real value first, you didn't hold back, and then you asked a specific question that invites her to reply. It's conversational, helpful, and personal. You're not selling anything, you're simply connecting. And when people feel that genuine interest, they want to talk to you more. That's how real conversations and eventually real sales start, with care and curiosity. For engaged but shy, the acknowledge plus relate plus probe formula. Now, these are the people who are quietly interested. They're not asking questions yet, but they're definitely feeling what you're saying. They might comment something like, "This is a lifesaver. So many people don't know this." Perfect opportunity right there. So instead of replying "Thanks," try this: "Thanks, mate. I'm really glad it hit home. You'd be surprised how often I see people in it here in Florida make that same mistake. Are you thinking about buying your first home soon?" That's acknowledge plus relate plus probe in action. You start by acknowledging them, that's the polite part. Then you relate. You know that you understand their situation, maybe even add a bit of local or personal touch. And finally, you probe gently. You ask a simple, non threatening question that invites them to respond. Now, if Mike replies and says something like, "Yeah, I actually am," just start looking around. Boom, you're in. You just open the door to a natural, friendly conversation about what he's looking for. And that's the goal: to create connection, not push for a sale. Because here's the key: the comments are not where you sell, That's where you spark curiosity. The where you build that first bit of trust, show your personality, and make people feel seen and understood. Once that happens, the next step feels completely natural, moving that conversation into DMs. And that's exactly what we're talking about next. Here's the truth: comments are great for visibility, but DMs, that's where real business happens. That's where people open up, ask specific questions, and make actual decisions. But, and this is important, you never want to force it. You don't just jump into their inbox with, hey, want to book a call? Or, hey, here's my offer. That's the fastest way to make things awkward and kill the vibe. Instead, you do it in a way that feels natural. And the best way to do that is by offering value first. You're not trying to sell, you're trying to help. So think of the DMs like this. You're simply continuing the conversation in a more private, comfortable space and giving them something extra that might actually help them. Let me show you what that looks like. Let's say you had that. This is the first example. Let's say you had that comment earlier where Sarah asked about setting boundaries with difficult clients. You gave her a solid reply publicly and she engaged back. Now it's the perfect moment to slide into the DMs, but gently like this. Hey, Sarah, loved your question about setting client boundaries. You mentioned you're a graphic designer. I actually put together a short PDF of 3 email templates to help with tricky clients. No strings attached, just thought it might help. Want me to send it over? See how natural that sounds. You're not pitching your coaching services. You're continuing the conversation. You're staying in that helpful, friendly zone, the one that builds trust. And what's powerful about this is you're giving real value first. You're positioning yourself as someone who knows their stuff and genuinely cares. That one DM can turn into a whole conversation like, oh my gosh, thank you. That would help so much. And suddenly you're in. It's no longer cold outreach, it's formed personal connection. Now let's go back to our earlier example. You're a real estate agent and Mike commented something like, this is a lifesaver. You replied, built rapport, and now you want to take it a bit further. Here's how that might sound like in the DMs. Hey Mike, thanks again for chatting on my post about home buyer mistakes. The market in Miami is wild right now. I've got a quick checklist for getting pre-approved that's helped a lot of people. Want a copy? It's smooth, friendly, and still completely about helping them. No pressure, no pitch, just value. And that's the key. The DMs should feel like a continuation of the conversation, not a switch into sales mode. When you do it this way, people don't feel like you're trying to sell to them. They feel like you're looking out for them. That difference is huge. Because while everyone else is sending buy now DMs that go straight to spam or getting ignored, you're doing the opposite. You're building relationships. And this is how you bridge that gap between just another person in the comments and a real potential client. That's the DM bridge. Not a pitch, it's an invitation. And once you build that connection in the DMs, there's only one thing left to do. Turn that friendly chat into into a client conversation. You've been chatting, you've helped them out, you've given them something valuable, and they trust you. This is where most people either freeze up or flip into sales mode. And that's exactly what we're not going to do. You're not going to turn into that pushy, overly eager salesperson who suddenly drops a link or floods them with offers. Nope. You're going to make the close feel right, natural, and helpful. Because here's the thing: when you build trust the right way, the close doesn't even feel like closing. It just feels like the next logical step in that conversation. Let me show you what that looks like. You've been chatting with Sarah. She asked about setting client boundaries. You shared tips, maybe even sent her that PDF earlier. She's clearly interested and appreciative. Now it's time to softly transition into the next step. Hey Sarah, it's been awesome chatting with you. I love helping coaches like you protect their time and energy. Got a quick 15-minute call this Thursday where I can help you map out a simple boundary strategy for your business. Would that be helpful? See that? You're not asking for a sale. You're offering help. It feels collaborative. You're inviting her into something that benefits her. No pressure, no big pitch, just an easy, hey, this might help. Want to chat? Example 2 here, like the same thing here. You've helped Mike out. He's appreciated your advice. Maybe he even used that checklist you gave him. Now you make a natural move forward. Mike, I'm so glad the checklist helped. My team actually specializes in helping first-time buyers make the process stress-free. Stress-free. Want to hop on a quick 10-minute call next week to see if we can help you find the right place. Totally no pressure. Again, it's short, friendly, and low stakes. You're offering value, not demanding commitment. That's the kind of message people say yes to because it doesn't feel like a pitch. It feels like help from someone who actually cares. And that's the goal here. The simple close isn't about convincing anyone. It's about inviting them. You're already showing them your value. Now you're just making sure and making it easy for them to take the next step. That's what makes it work. All right, let's wrap this up. Here's your complete roadmap from first comment to paying client. Step 1, the mindset shift. Start seeing your comments as conversations, not just compliments. Step 2, the engagement triage. Focus on warm and engaged but shy leads. Those are your gold mine. Step 3, the value driven reply. Give real insights, ask genuine questions, and start real conversations. Step 4, the DM bridge. Move things private by offering something genuinely helpful, not a sales pitch. Step 5, the simple close. Invite them to take the next step with a short, no pressure call or offer. When you do this consistently, your Instagram stops being a posting platform and it becomes your lead generation engine. You'll start to notice something amazing. People stop seeing you just as another account. Like that will stop. They start seeing you as a trusted expert who can actually help them. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, Jem, I love this system, but I honestly don't have time to do all these things every single day. That's exactly what I help business owners with. Finding and connecting with high quality, ready to talk, and high intent leads so you can focus on what you do best. So if you want high quality leads week after week, click the link below and book a free strategy call. And hey, if this video helped you, do me a small favor. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't yet, and drop a comment below telling me which part you're going to try first. I'd love to hear your thoughts and see how you put this into action. All right, now go turn those comments into clients, and I'll see you in the next one.